One come all, those short, those tall. There may be some clowning around, but you'll get an earful all in all. No need for waivers, no need for saviors. Don't be frightened, do not hide. Enter now and enjoy the ride. So step right up, those far and near. The attraction is set. It's yeah for fear.
Hi, welcome to the Ear for Fear podcast. This is the podcast that talks about scary movies. Our movies trying to be scary. I'm Rick. Got Jake in the house, one of the creeps. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, you want to introduce our special guest?
Absolutely. On the couch over here with us today is my old friend, Carl Chang. Carl,
how's it going?
How you doing, buddy?
How we doing?
We're good, man. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I guess today we're going to be chatting 2016's The Void. All right. Before we jump into this,
I want to change the name of this movie to Avoid.
Oh, no.
Avoid this movie.
Oh, man.
My Lord.
You didn't like it?
Not at all.
Not at all?
You guys actually owe me $4 because I had to rent this piece of shit.
Dude, it was on Tubi for free. Tubi, you got to download Tubi.
I have it.
They have commercials, but nothing's cut out, and it's free. That's how I wasn't paying $4.
Oh, dude. Well, I had to try to get it done quickly because I have a house full of children.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was like, all right, I got to get this done quickly.
But you didn't like it, huh?
Well, I watched it once before. It was one that it was on Netflix, and so Netflix, they have those little, when you scan across it, they give you that little brief.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh look, hospital cult. This is gonna be great.
Yeah.
So my wife and I watched it, and I remember halfway through it just going, "What the fuck is going on here? What are they doing?"
I had never seen it. I had talked to a lot of people that had seen it, and they really liked it. Random people, like podcasts I listened to. My son had seen it. He had liked it. I talked to my buddy. He had liked it, and I'm like, well, this seems kind of up the alley, especially when I knew Jake was coming on. I always know with Jake, there's certain movies that I feel we can go down these rabbit holes, and and this one just kind of jumped out at me.
Right.
And so, before we jump into it, either you guys want to do a quick synopsis, or you want me to do it?
After you, Carl.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, after dropping off a patient at a hospital, police officer experiences some strange occurrences that are linked to a group of mysterious hooded figures. That's basically what this is about. I'll be honest, though, and we'll get into it. When the movie ended, I was still a little confused. And Carl, that was my issue with it. I thought there was a lot of great things happening in this movie, but what I was like, at the very end, I was like, okay, I know it's a cult, but is there aliens involved? What? And maybe you guys have your opinion on this, or maybe we don't know the answer, and that was the whole point.
I think there was just way too much going on in this movie. It feels like this was a movie that somebody, when they began writing the script, said, okay, we need to have a cult. We need to have aliens. We need to have, cosmic horror or whatever. And they just had this list of things that needed to take place, and there was just too much going on.
Well, if you look up the resume of the guys who wrote and directed this, they have a very nice resume as art department.
Didn't they do a lot of special effects on movies?
Yeah, they were even on. They did like the art. They were in the art department for the show Fargo, which is amazing.
Great on FX.
And so
great show,
I'm looking at this going like, holy shit, these guys are really accomplished. And it's what it looks like to me is like, the kid found dad's car keys and went fucking ape.
Yes.
And that's exactly what they got
I
here.
believe they were 80s horror fans, especially The Thing, John Carpenter, because this has The Thing all over it.
All over it.
Prince of Darkness comes to mind as well, both John Carpenter. And they were like, look what we can do.
If you actually, if you
now,
read
was this
the
their
trivia,
first movie?
It's the first one that I saw. They also did one that you guys did not too long ago, but I cannot remember the name of it.
You have to look it up. I have it on the computer, Jake, if you want to check it out. I got IMDb up.
Bizarre movie.
I'm on it.
It had,
because this absolutely had like an H.P. Lovecraft feel.
No, so
like,
when I read the trivia on this, their goal was an homage to Carpenter, an homage to Lovecraft.
Oh, okay. So they nailed it then.
Sort of. The problem with that is if you're going to do an homage to Carpenter, you have to do what Carpenter does. There has to be that tongue-in-cheek,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going for ballsy 80s, what he would do.
You didn't feel that some of that was over, like, because there was a lot of over the top.
This movie took itself far too seriously.
Really?
Agreed.
Yeah, I felt that.
Oh, I feel like if this was their first movie, that was what was screaming at me the whole time I was watching it, because I feel like they had all of these ideas and they didn't think that they were going to get another chance to make another movie. So they threw every idea they had and the kitchen sink at this thing, and it just became disjointed.
It was a little, there were times it was a little bananas for me, but at other times I kind of felt like I was getting what they were doing and I was fine with it. Like I had no issues with it. I guess before we jump into it, full spoilers, everyone.
1, 2, spoilers coming for you.
So, Carl, before we jump into this, anytime we have a guest on for the first time,
Okay.
we ask questions.
All right.
And you don't know the questions, and neither does Jake. And it's just a kind of a way to get the listeners to kind of delve into the mind of Carl and who Carl is a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. We probably can't. We're probably just going to scratch the surface, So before we start talking about the Void, let's ask you a few questions and just answer them as freely as possible.
Yeah, fire away.
All right, man. What was the first horror movie you remember seeing as a kid?
Ooh. I would have to say, well, I don't remember seeing it, but I've heard the story. My mom took me to see American Werewolf in London
Oh, yeah.
at the movie theater because she thought it was a comedy. And it was, but at the same time, I was just a sprout. And it's like, yeah, that guy's throat's getting eaten.
Yeah. What was was that 81? American Werewolf in
I
London?
don't remember the
81?
year.
So
It's like 81 or 82.
So you probably were what, 5?
3 or 4.
Yeah, something like that.
I was young, but I was always into movies, so
Yeah.
I was game, and so it was kind of like, oh yeah, this is the guy who made Animal House. It's gonna be funny.
Oh, yeah.
And remember back in the 80s, tits on screen, nobody cared.
Yeah.
You know, it was like I saw Revenge of the Nerds in the theater.
Oh my God, I did too.
and it's like, yeah, there's
Yeah.
some things here that are just not
They would
appropriate.
never
No.
get away with that now.
Not
Oh, you couldn't.
appropriate.
No, there's a lot of
there's
scenes
full
that are-
frontal
yeah.
nudity, straight up rape.
Rape in the
Like-
bounce house thingy,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
whatever that thing was. That, yeah.
And back then it was like, no, it's not rape, it's love. And it's
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
no,
I
that's rape.
But how was
dude.
she supposed to find out what kind of lover he was if he didn't deceive her into
Yeah,
doing it?
yeah. If I'm gonna sneak the old blah, 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 and we're gonna see what happens from that.
We shouldn't be laughing.
No, we know.
Yeah,
we
no,
shouldn't.
no, rape isn't
But
funny. It's not funny at all.
Yeah, no, we talked about this on the podcast where a lot of the 80s stuff they did was like, there's no way in hell you could do that
No.
now.
No, they got away with a lot.
They got away with a
back
lot of
then.
stuff. Yeah. What is your favorite all-time horror film? What's your which one do you love?
Dude, I hate that question. For me, it's all based on mood. But if I have to go, the one that I always have to revisit, it's got to be The Shining.
Yeah,
Has to be The Shining.
can't go wrong with that
It's
one.
not the wrong answer. No.
Which
It's not. There is no wrong answer. Yeah.
they did a re-release, or not a re-release, but they did a screening of The Shining at the Crest, and me and my wife went to that. And I remember wanting to kill everybody in that movie theater because they were treating it like a comedy. They're laughing at everything, and I was just like, "This is The Shining. You're supposed to respect this."
Yeah.
And it made me so mad that it ruined it for me for a minute. But
Yeah.
that movie still to this day is.
Oh, yeah,
that's my favorite.
It's a great movie. You can't go wrong with that movie. You
No,
know?
I love it. I love it.
Stephen King might argue with you.
Stephen King
Oh,
didn't
well, of
like
course,
it.
yeah.
Stephen King didn't like
Yeah,
it.
he
But at
didn't.
the same time, like I've read Stephen King's book, and it's like, yeah, you can shut up for a minute. dude. The movie's pretty damn good.
I don't read Stephen King. I just because I don't like reading. I'll just be honest. I don't like reading. But I hear a lot of his books are fucking weird. Like in It, like there's weird shit going on with the kids in an orgy or something.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, what the fuck is that?
No, it is wild. And when they re-released that, when they put that one out, and it was like, oh, they made it a 2-parter.
That was
Yeah.
it, by the way. It, right? It worked on it.
These guys?
Yeah, these guys worked on it.
They
Oh,
might
I
have.
don't know.
Art direction.
They might
Oh,
have.
art direction
Yeah,
on it?
they're
Okay.
dude, like The Shape of Water. Like these guys had a
Oh,
legitimate
wow.
resume, and then they put this thing out, and it's like, all right.
It had admirable qualities, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see here. If you were stuck,
It was like a student running a class
student
for a
film,
day.
yeah.
Student film.
You know, the teacher's out. Well, I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys about this. And, oh, well, this isn't going to be on the test, I hope.
Like I said, not to repeat myself, but I swear I believe this is just a movie where they were like, hey, this is our only shot. Put it all in
Exactly.
there. Do it all. You want to do it? Yeah, I've always wanted to do this, do that. Practical effects, yes. You know, interdimensional terror. Yeah, do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
No, where that aspect comes in, I respect the balls. You know, it's like you guys had guts to put yourselves out there. Not everybody has that, you know.
For sure.
There's a
Well,
lot of
this-
people who can sit on a couch and say, this is bullshit, but they're not actually doing it.
Yeah.
As a result of this film, would you go see their next movie?
I'd check it out. Because the one thing I can tell you is visibly fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, this movie
Yeah,
is
it does. It's great.
the color, the lighting, just the cinematography in
It was
general
really yellow to me, though. You know,
a little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah,
But but there's also a lot of weird things like
There is a lot of tension, which like there was once we'll talk about later. There was one scene where like it was like near the lobby area and there was like knives and guns and it was like, holy shit, what's going to happen here? Like I was super uncomfortable,
yeah.
you know. But anyways, if you were stuck in a horror film, what character do you see yourself as? Who the hell would you be?
Oh my god. I mean, who's not going to say I'm the hero that lives? But at the same time, I'm most likely the smart ass friend,
The comic relief.
that gets it first.
The comic relief, yeah.
The one who's in the corner smoking a joint. When
the Jamie Kennedy from Scream.
pretty much.
There you
pretty
go.
Much.
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah.
really annoying guy that they're like.
I'm pretty sure that's what I said too when we did this before.
You
No,
might
my
have said
my
that,
best
yeah.
one that I can think of is the goofy comedy guy from Cabin in the Woods.
I was just gonna say that.
That's
yeah,
the
that's
closest.
you.
But
Yeah.
he lives. You
I think
know?
he does live.
And he lives. He shows up later with a big knife hole in him, but he's
Yeah.
like, I'm alive.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well,
Would you buy a doll or any other object if you knew it was haunted?
oh no. No, if I knew it was haunted, no. I got kids, man. I can't do that.
I hear you, man. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
He's a
Even
true
if I didn't have
believer.
kids,
No, I had a scenario. So my oldest daughter, she got a tonsillectomy.
oh, okay.
So she would wake up in the middle of the night crying, and you know I'd go get her and give her medicine and give her a popsicle. And I remember one night she came in and she's just standing at the side of my bed going, and I look over, like it woke me from a dead sleep, and I just see this dark, long-haired figure crying next to me. And I've watched too many horror movies.
Tell me you didn't swing on her.
I punched her right in the face.
You did?
I punched her right in
Holy
the forehead.
shit, man.
That's
I
my
said-
man.
I said, Jesus! And punched her right in the head and was like, oh my God, I just added insult to injury because she's in the worst pain ever.
Oh my God.
And I just dotted her in the forehead.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
Holy shit.
the wife likes to give me a hard time for that because now I'm out there putting an ice pack on her forehead
Hey,
and giving her
CPS.
a popsicle.
CPS. He's kidding. That was a joke.
Oh, no. CPS, we could tell them all about
Oh my
it.
God, dude.
It wasn't intentional at all, but it was just like a whole, what is that? It was like the Ring, man. Just
Yeah.
the hair in her face. Look, I just threw my phone.
Dude, that's hilarious. Oh, man. Oh, shit. Let's see. Okay, here we go. You're given the death penalty. What would your last meal be?
Ooh. It's going to be boring, man. Because, like, I would love to say, 20 pounds of crab or something like that, but a lot of work involved in that. And they're not going to give you a weapon to crack that sucker open. So
They do a $1 limit on those. I
it was
understand.
for me, it would have to be eggs and hash browns. Like, that's my favorite thing
Is
in
it?
the world is eggs and hash
Hey,
browns.
man, they're both good.
I just, nice crispy, mix that shit
Uh-huh.
up. Oh, let's party. Yeah.
All right, man.
That's-
Shit.
That's probably it.
All right, one last question. I always try to finish off with this because I'm curious what people say. What do you want etched on your tombstone?
He meant well.
There you go, man.
I came up with that a while ago.
Yeah.
Here lies Carl.
He
meant
meant
well.
I like
Did
it,
his
man.
best.
He meant well. Because I rub a lot of people the wrong way. And it's not that I'm trying to be mean. I mean well. You know, that's my ultimate.
Hey, man, I love it, dude. You survived the questions. Those are pretty easy, man.
Psycho Gorman.
Yeah, Psycho Gorman.
That's
They
the
worked
other
on that one?
The second, Stephen Kostansky.
Oh,
he
yeah.
directed that.
That shit Jake, have
I
you
still
seen
haven't-
that?
I have not seen that one.
Okay, so my cousin and I did that one. He recommended it, and fuck, was that movie over the top. I don't think it was as over the top as... Okay, it was more so than this one. I felt this one, visually, I think acting-wise, everything is better. I think the Psycho Gorman is more of like almost like a B movie, right? I don't feel like this is a B movie. I feel like, especially when you're saying they're taking it they're being serious about it, and I get that through the movie. Psycho Gorman is crazy. Yeah,
I'll check it out.
yeah, I think you might like it. Anyways, that's it, man. For the questions. So The Void, you didn't like it?
Well, I'm torn. There are things that I did like about it, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of things I didn't like. Some of these people I've seen in other things, and I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
The
Dude from Letterkenny.
yeah. Every time he's on screen, I'm just waiting for him to go.
Which guy was that?
Was
that the-
He's
He's the guy that was running away at the beginning. His name's Evan.
Oh,
Evan
that guy.
Stone,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, the one with the beard. And
He plays
yeah.
Rold in Letterkenny, and he's one of the funniest characters.
Yeah.
on
Oh,
that
okay,
show.
okay. I knew he looked familiar, but I don't know that show. The Doctor looks familiar.
You need to educate
Doctor-
yourself,
I do?
my friend.
Okay,
that is
all
a
right.
great.
You know who
show.
the Doctor was? He
was the Doctor in every other movie he's
He
ever
was,
been in.
okay, do you remember The Day After Tomorrow with Jake Gyllenhaal and
Yes.
Dennis Quaid?
Yes,
Is that Dennis Quaid or Randy Quaid?
Dennis. No, it was Dennis.
Is Randy Quaid even
It was
working
Dennis.
anymore?
So you know the vice
It wasn't
president.
cousin Eddie. I can
Yeah.
tell you that much.
You know the vice president that was always a dick to Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
He played the vice president.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, certain people I look at, I'm like, I feel like I've seen you somewhere, but yeah.
There are a couple other people. I feel like I know Aaron Poole from somewhere, but I couldn't
Yeah, because he
place
looks
it.
just like Aaron Paul.
He does. If
does,
you shaved his
dude.
head, yeah.
He looks like if Aaron Paul and Tom Felton had a baby. That's him. So he's like Malfoy Pinkman.
So what about the father too? Because he looks like somebody too, and I couldn't.
I don't
place
know.
Oh, the father, yeah.
He was the most repellent
it.
character.
Oh, his name is Daniel Fathers.
Are you serious? That's his
serious.
name. So, because we don't know their names, right? It's just the
It's
father,
the father
and the son.
Here's what's really funny about that is, so I was reading in the trivia, the guy who plays the son was hired the day before they started filming.
Okay.
And so they were like, he probably shows up and goes, I don't know my lines. They're like, fuck it. We'll put a
Don't
Band-Aid
talk.
on your neck and say you can't talk.
So what are we supposed to? What happened there? Was he attacked by one of these things?
All they say is that's what happened the last time he trusted somebody. And he's got this bandage on his
and
neck.
he can't talk at all.
And so it's like, well, what, you can't grunt? You can't,
Well, that's what.
Yeah.
There was nothing from him
you
at
know?
all.
He just
He hasn't
he
talked
just stood
since
there
the
and
accident.
he just which he still has the Band-Aid on his neck, so the accident seems semi-recent.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
no,
mean,
this guy, this main actor, that was another one, the trope of just constantly calling somebody Carter.
Yeah.
It just really bugged me. It bugged me so bad. It's like,
And I didn't buy him in that role. Like
The
he doesn't
the
look,
cop guy or
he
whatever?
Doesn't
What is
look
he?
like a sheriff's deputy.
he
or a
didn't
cop
come
to
off
me.
that way to me either.
I kind of see it. He looks like he could be a small town deputy.
Could have
A
been like
deputy, but
Yeah.
not in charge of anything.
Like
You
it could
know.
have been like a James Marsden or something, and I would have bought it more.
Yeah, I got you. No, yeah, I got you.
I it's like there were little things that I felt like just okay, and this is probably minute, but sometimes I get fixated on the small things. At the beginning of the movie, when he's talking to the lady, and when he's in the car and he's like just chilling there, do we get the impression that's his girlfriend? Because we know that his ex-wife works at the hospital, right? So is that his new love interest?
I didn't.
I didn't.
See, I know
I
it's-
didn't gather that.
That's
but-
what I did because he was going to go. He wanted to go outside to make a call. I don't know. Maybe he wanted privacy and he was uncomfortable about going to this hospital. I kind of felt like something was happening there.
Well, there's something happening, but I don't think that that was. I didn't read anything off of that than banter between dispatch and an officer who talked to each
Yeah.
other over the radio every day.
Okay, and maybe that was just me.
Yeah.
I felt like okay. So let's get back. Do you guys think this is a we know it's a cult, but is there alien stuff going on here? Because what is this? this other kind of.
I think it's definitely it's interdimensional. It's
yes,
not, you know.
Yes. Okay.
So,
So we were
like,
talking about Stephen King earlier.
Yeah.
Have you ever read the book From a Buick 8?
No.
So it's 100% Lovecraft style,
Okay.
interdimensional. Because like the whole idea of like Cthulhu. Cthulhu isn't
Sure.
necessarily this demon that lives under the earth. He's from a different dimension. And so it's these different dimensional beings, and that book is this car that shows up from a different dimension, and all this weird shit happens around it.
Is it related to Christine?
No, but it's a damn good book.
Is
I
it?
really
Did they
enjoyed
make
that one.
a movie though? Not Christine. It's I forget what the name of it is, but I'm pretty sure they made a movie about it. And it's not the name you're saying.
Now, if they made a movie about that one, I would.
You hadn't.
absolutely
I
see
swear,
it.
there's one that
loved it.
with a car other than Christine, of course.
There's yeah.
And does it
Stephen
take
King
place
finds
in like
weird
the
shit to make scary?
Isn't
so.
it 50s or something? 50s? Is it set? Is it take place in the 50s? Because I swore this one had it. It felt like that.
So this movie is told from two different stories. It's told from a cop and then his son when his son is grown up. So it jumps back and forth in time, and it's like there's the story of the dad and then the story of the son after. But every time they
Okay.
talk about
Damn
the
it.
son, it's like, well, yeah, he has this memory of that horrible thing that happened to his dad. And so it's kind of like
okay.
this. It's this story that meets in the middle, and it's really cool. And
Yeah.
I got a real feel of that from this movie. But yes, like you said, it's interdimensional because they to spoil it at the end, they're standing in front of some pyramid on what seems to be another planet, but I think
Yeah.
it's just supposed to be another dimension.
Another dimension. It had there were times where, like I said, we referenced The Thing, Prince of Darkness, but Phantasm a little bit. When they went through those, I don't even know what the hell that thing was in Phantasm, those two little metal rods, and then you enter like another dimension and it's kind of desolate and deserty, you know.
Right.
That's what this kind
I
of
have a very vague memory of that movie. I just remember a creepy old dude and a ball
the tall man,
with knives sticking out.
Yeah,
of
the
it.
tall man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this. I mean, look at this. I mean, this right here, dude. This is absolutely The Thing. I almost was waiting, ready for it to come out and start like walking across the head, start walking across the floor.
But
This shit gets over. I will say this: the practical effects. I love practical
Some of them are
effects.
great.
I
Some
think
of them
they're
are
pretty
great.
good. You know.
yeah.
That's-
And that was their goal, was to
Yeah.
be 100% practical. But
Yeah.
That's quality number one of this film is that they gave it a shot. They went through the practical effects.
When you have two guys two filmmakers who come from the art department, you can't expect less. It's like Tom Savini, everybody
Yeah.
talks about him. It's like, I only recently found out, oh, wait, this guy actually worked with like Rick Baker
Yeah.
forever. And
Yeah.
I just thought he was the weird dude in movies.
Yeah.
And then you find out like, no, he's the one responsible for making blood spurt out of someone's throat.
Oh
Yes.
yes, the
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon scene. Yeah.
And he's great.
Yeah.
And so when you have somebody like that, that's, my job has been to take the impossible and make it possible. Of course, they're going to add everything they can. But there's some Play-Doh monsters in this movie that kind of bugged me a little bit.
Yeah. So without like us diving into every single scene, basically this starts out right. There's this house. There's this house, and we're not sure what's going on here. Is the father and the son are they? What's happening with them? They burn someone up. Down the road, I'm thinking, okay, well, they burn it up for a reason, right? They
I
burn
was actually
the burning.
thinking that they were trying to set those two guys up as though they were serial killers or thrill killers or something. They want to introduce you to them as, these guys are murderers. I thought.
It was kind of a red herring. It's like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, that the thing that was kind of getting me is Rold comes running out of the place, and it's like, well, wait, so is he part of this cult? Because they're after him. Is he part of it? But at the same time, he's petrified of the idea of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what 2 pages are missing from the script that tied this together?
Yeah, that's what I will say about this. There are things that I don't know what's happening. Like, I felt like if I watch this 2 or 3 times, I still don't know if it answers my questions.
And usually I
think
take
that might have been their goal.
Yeah, I will rarely say this about a movie because usually I don't like things being spelled out for me. You set it up properly on
Right.
film, you show me, and I got to come to to terms with it. I got to figure it out for myself. This one, I think we definitely could have used a little more exposition in one way or another, like learning a little bit more about what's happening.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Sometimes I don't mind you grabbing my hand and following me through some place and giving me those answers. I don't mind that sometimes. Sometimes I don't. I just like that uncertainty, but this, I really needed it. I was literally, after I got done watching this, I'm like, fuck, do I just go on like to YouTube and I watch other reviews and see what they say? I did that, and they didn't understand some of it as well.
Right.
So, you know, and
if you take a step back from this film and you say, what was the point of this film? What was the bad guy's motivation? What was the point of this story from point A to point B everywhere? What is it? Like, can you explain it?
No.
I kind of can.
Go for it, yeah.
The bad guy is the doctor.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
He's the big bad.
Yeah.
And he lost his child. And so his whole thing is, I want my daughter back. But the only way he can think to get his daughter back is to practice these dark arts. And then because he kept talking about his evolution, he's becoming, you know, what he says is, the only thing I could get to at this point was the moth to the cocoon. Now I'm becoming a butterfly.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was kind of cool, but at the same time, he kept saying that he wanted people to see this revelation, but then they took everybody's eyeballs. Because the whole thing about every person in this movie that's a victim of it is either impregnated or loses their fucking eyes.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you can't see with your eyes. What he wants you to see, you can't see with your eyes, Carl.
But no, so what I gathered from it was he was just trying to go down this rabbit hole of getting his family back. But in return, he found this weird.
And I think that's a big problem with the film, because you have all of these different elements. So you have a doctor who's completely destroyed by the death of his daughter, and he wants to get her back. So you take that, he figures out some way to possibly reanimate somebody. And if you stick with that tight story, the movie could have worked, but it would obviously be looked at as a ripoff of The Reanimator.
But I mean, did you feel that they really explained any of that? Like at all? Like I was still, I get that part of it, but give me some backstory to it. What did you have to do? Like, did you have to sacrifice something in order to get these? I don't know. I'm not gonna say powers, but
sure.
You know what I mean. This insight. Like, did you have to? What did you do? Was it you had to kill? Like, was Daniel Carter and I think Allison. I think there's a scene where they said that their son died.
Sure.
Was that a sacrifice for whatever he's doing? Was the cop's father a sacrifice? Were there sacrifices happening in order for him to kind of move forward with this? And that's what I didn't understand.
You take that, and then you got the second element of this film, which is there is a cult involved. So how does the cult come into that?
I don't know, Jake.
Did he get followers, and now there's a cult? Where does the cult play into this? And that's the second element. It doesn't really explain that. Yeah. And then you got the third element, which is there's interdimensional horrors going on, and you don't really get any idea of, okay, where was the first step? How did the doctor discover this? So you've got all three of these elements in the movie that just seem kind of shoehorned in.
Well, see here, there's another part that's coming up. So basically what you're finding out, the father, right? Yeah. He's the most repellent character in the whole movie.
Sure.
He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
But then a baby shoe falls out of his pocket. Yeah. And it's like, you're supposed to get it. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
He's lost somebody too.
But I never felt it. I didn't feel it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, if you're trying to give this guy justification for being so terrible, you got to give me more than just a shoe falling out of his pocket. But every male character in this movie, except for the weird Canadian grandfather, they've all lost a child.
Sure.
Yeah.
Every one of them. And so it's there's that underlying, this is the method of the madness, is everybody's had this great loss. But like he said, or like Jake said, the feeling I got was if they'd stuck to that basis story, it would have been great. But it was kind of like You know, the fifth season of Lost. It's like, okay, well,
there's a lot.
We
going
ran out of
on.
ideas. We just got to start throwing shit at people so they'll keep watching.
J.J. Abrams mystery box.
Yeah.
Just ask questions. We don't need to answer them. Let the audience figure it out for themselves.
We're going to answer one question, but we're going to give you 15 more.
Yeah, I was quite confused. And typically when I popped this on, it was an hour and a half. I was like, awesome, because all these damn horror movies these days want to go 2.5 hours. I'm like, no. This, I feel, give me another 10 minutes and give me some exposition. Give me some backstory, some depth to whatever's happening here. I felt we needed that. And if that's not 10 minutes, give me fucking 5 minutes of it. Right. Just so I know. That way I feel differently towards these characters. Because I really didn't feel for any of them.
To juxtapose that, though, there are those movies that come out there that are like, we give you very little. We just throw you in the scenario. We're on the ride. And some of those are great. Yeah. But, you know, for instance, like Alien. Perfect example. You're thrown right into the middle of it, but there's 30 seconds of list of what's going on. Like there's that exposition scroll on the front of the screen.
For sure.
And it's like, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. I know where we are. I know what's going on.
Yep.
Go.
Yeah.
That could have been very helpful here. Something like that. Or something that at least says, this is the cult of the Black Triangle, whatever.
Something, because they jumped in this quick. Like it literally was a couple seconds in. I mean, it was kind of like right off the bat. I'm okay with that. But then if you're going to do that, then at some point you got to slow it up a little bit and give me something so I can fill in those gaps.
Honestly, I think that if they had stuck to one of those, you know, plot lines instead of trying to throw all three of them in there, they could have pulled off not explaining a lot of things had they stuck to a single one of those three plot lines.
Yeah.
It's because they have three separate plot lines that brings all these questions into your head, and you're like, well, no, there's no answer to that. There's no answer to this. If they had stuck with one of those plot lines, they could have gone the entire movie without explaining everything, and it would have been just fine for me.
Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they get to this hospital, right? And I love, and I said this on the podcast, I like when you get to a place and you feel isolated, right? Mm-hmm. The thing comes to mind, you know, Demon Knight comes to mind when you put all the characters in an area and they have nowhere to go. I love this. This hospital, I don't know about you guys, it reminded me of Halloween 2. Do you remember the hospital in Halloween 2?
Yes.
This absolutely, like I was watching this last night and my buddy was over. I'm like, dude, does this not feel like Halloween 2 to you? Like it feels old and dated. And then what year is this supposed to be? The computers look like they were from the 90s or something.
That one got me too. And nobody has a cell phone.
No one had a cell phone.
Yeah.
So is it... That's
80s,
not,
sure.
that's not, is it 80s? Is it just not explained? I mean, because I don't remember hearing it at all.
I think it could have been the 80s or 90s. That question didn't really come up for me. Like, I wasn't confused with what, year it was in the film.
Well, I don't think it 80s, because that type of computer I don't think was around in the 80s. I would say that looked to me, it felt like 90s to me somehow.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll buy that.
But yeah, I mean, there are things that I enjoy about this movie. I think the practical effects, I know Carl, you say they're over the top, and they aren't.
No, some of them are great,
and I think they're really cool. And then I thought there was a lot of tension that I felt the tension.
Sure.
I'm a sucker for good music. I felt there was some good things going on, and then it just starts to unravel, especially towards the end, like her getting impregnated. I'm trying to.
It's another thing that we could have used an explanation for, like what is the purpose of the transformation these people are going through, and what is the method that it's carried out. It's like if it's a zombie movie, they get bit, they're infected, or Last of Us, it's a fucking mushroom or something. But it doesn't.
No, it's a fungus.
It doesn't really explain, what is the methodology behind that? How is that being facilitated from a scientific perspective?
Maybe I missed this. What was the point of the doctor doing what he did with Allison? Because then Daniel Carter, cop, sheriff, whatever he was, he comes in and just hacks it up. What was the whole point of that? Did I just miss that? Did it go over my head? What was the purpose of that?
No, I'm right there with you.
Carl, like you're saying, is it just or Jake said, it's just to go fucking throw everything at the wall and see what,
I think
here's the other thing, because there's the pregnant girl that's in the hospital, and the cult basically escorts her out because it's like you have the new child of the doctor. So this doctor's just like, I'm pumping my seed everywhere.
Attaboy.
You know, and
Proud of you.
He's just, I'm making
the cult.
fucking alien spider babies or whatever. I don't know.
I don't fucking know, dude.
And then you
because
got to take a step back and go, is this how, part of these stories is how does the normal man become a psychotic weirdo?
yeah,
And he wanted to save his daughter, but his daughter.
No, he
came
wanted
back.
her back.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
wanted
she
to. He
was
wanted to
gone.
bring his daughter back, but excuse me, she comes back as a weird
oh,
alien.
dude, I don't even
monster.
know what the fuck that
Yeah,
thing was.
I mean,
But
Is that what you want, man?
yeah.
But see, if you're so fucking far gone, maybe you're okay with it because you don't see it that way. From his perspective, I'm not justifying what he did. But if you're a doctor and your job is to save lives and you can't save your own daughter, what ends would you go to bring her back?
Yeah, no, it's having a daughter myself, I can definitely sympathize with that.
Oh,
It's like,
I got two. I can too.
I'd go
Yeah.
to the end of the fucking world.
I would.
At the same time, it's like I don't
Pet
know
cemetery.
I don't know if I would go the whole cult path of like, well, my daughter's gone, I'm gonna bring back this seaweed creature.
Right.
Even know.
And I mean, what are we gonna do? Am I taking her to Disneyland? Like it's over. It's,
I don't know. What is the end game here? It's like, you're not going, to the zoo together. What the fuck are you doing? Where are you
that
going?
thing kind of looks like you.
Right.
So-
It goes back to this whole movie being the type of thing. It's okay for a movie to let the viewer ask questions, for them to have questions. I think this is an example of a movie where the people who were telling the story didn't know what the answer to any of these questions were either.
You just think it's one of those situations is like, okay, well, we have our hands in a lot of other movies, but maybe writing screenplays and directing is just not our forte, but we're going to try. We're going to give it a shot. And this is the result.
I wouldn't say it's not their forte. I'd just say this, not every joke's going to land. Not every movie's going to be a hit. I liked seeing what they were capable of doing. If they had a tighter script, I think they could make a great film.
You feel that this needed some humor in here? You needed it. It needed to be lightened up a little bit.
A little. I mean, you could tell that they were trying for humor.
Yeah,
because
that was
like
Kim, right?
Yeah.
The other the
Oh,
girl,
the Kim character,
the girl.
yeah,
So
the nurse, yeah.
This is going to be one of my favorite parts of this. She was Knives Chow in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, that's right. She was.
She's Knives.
Oh, yeah.
And she
that's where I
can't
saw
handle
her.
a fucking knife. Remember? Because
Oh,
she's
yeah,
going, I can't do it. She's got the knife at the end. And so that was another one. I'm sitting here going like, oh, Knives is in this. Hell yeah, this is going to be great. And she's such a wasted character.
She is a wasted character. Yeah, yeah.
She's so wasted in this. And so, yeah, that's the other thing is Scott Pilgrim, comedy. Very funny, very entertaining
great movie. Yeah.
Letterkenny, comedy. Very, very funny show. You have two people that actually come from these comedy things, and maybe they were just trying to say, like, look, I just want to let you know I can flex my muscles in other directions.
Yeah.
I can take on a serious role, but it's just yes, it could have absolutely.
Yeah.
And this, I didn't look up. Is this a Canadian film?
Yes.
Are those guys Canadians?
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
you got
Yes.
two,
Oh, I think if because I thought Psycho Gorman was Canadian. So if they did that, then I
This
think
is
you're right.
100%
Yeah.
Canadian. And because like the hospital they filmed it in is in like what's it, Sault Ste. Marie or something.
Okay.
in
I guess it used to be. It
Ontario.
was
the
an
whole
old
area
high school or
smelled
something.
like
Yeah.
Canada to me.
Yeah, it's a
What-
very
what was that?
Canadian movie. It's a very
Figuratively,
Canadian
of
movie.
course.
But see, that's the funny thing is there's a lot of Canadian movies out there that are wonderful.
Oh, really good.
They're great.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm like I said, I am on board for Letterkenny. I love Trailer Park Boys. You know, these Canadian shows that bring the goofiness and the friendliness of Canada, but also show you like we will fucking kick your ass.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just maybe they felt the seriousness in the sense of the doctor losing his kid and the husband and wife losing their kid. Maybe they felt they included that that humor. Maybe it was oh no, we're all right. Yeah. Okay. What is that? What is that? Is that
Sounds
outside?
like a smoke alarm, dude.
Is that outside? Oh, it's probably outside. Yeah, we get it's all right. Yeah, that one's okay. Yeah, sometimes
I
You guys
saw you
can't
grab
see this,
yours, I was
but
like-
Carl and I both grab our paws like, is something going to blow? Something's
I'm
gonna
oh
blow.
no, it was probably and this happens before because of where I live. Sometimes you get like an Amazon outside delivering
Oh,
a
yeah.
package and they're backing up, and so you get like a beep. That's okay. I have no issues with that.
No, okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the
I thought it was the portal to the other
No,
dimension
I know,
opening, and
right?
we need to
Yeah.
get the fuck on.
No, the reality is shit happens. I've had my cell phone go off because I forgot to mute it during an episode, and I'm
Right.
like, I was that asshole. It was me, And I had this was when I lived in my other house. We had a guy in a motorcycle, and he was peeling out like right next door. I'm like, really? Are you shitting me right now?
Yeah.
But you know what? It's okay. I'm okay with any of that shit. I don't even care. But yeah, my guess it was someone outside.
Yeah.
Sure.
I live across the street from an elementary school, and 4th of July is still going on.
Oh, is it really?
Every night. Boom. Ah, dude, my dog is freaking out. But it is what it is. America.
Yeah.
Love it or leave it.
Love it or leave it. Yeah.
So where were you when we...
I don't remember what I was saying. I think my point was I'm all for humor in horror movies.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I love it. I just think with the fact that everyone's lost someone in here, I felt if you did add the humor, it takes away from what they're going through and feeling. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion, but I'm all for the humor. I just felt like maybe it wasn't warranted here.
Right.
There could have been a moment, though. There definitely could have been a moment. And I think that's what they were trying for when Kim was introduced, right?
I believe so. Because she's got the whole thing about, like, they're telling her to write the paperwork, and she's
That's
like,
what
computers are for.
Yeah.
So old school. And it's like, okay, you're just annoying now.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, instead of being funny, she was annoying.
The one thing I will give this movie, I did really enjoy the fact that this movie didn't rely on jump scares.
Yeah.
And because so many horror movies nowadays rely on jump scares. And for me, it's like, I don't like the gore porn, like your saws. And
yeah, I like that. The body horror, that type of stuff.
I don't like all that. It's like, give me ghosts. Like I said,
That's me too,
The
man.
Shining
Now-
is my favorite movie. I like to be spooked.
Yes, me
With
too.
all that said, Carl, what's your favorite jump scare of all time in a movie?
Oh, shit. That's a tough. I know everyone says The Exorcist 3,
Yeah.
but
Oh, that's a great one, though. We did that, Jake, you and I,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah, that's right. That one's fucking awesome. I worked
Great movie.
at the old Cinedomes when that came out. You remember the old Cinedomes?
oh, of course
you
I
grew
do.
up this.
I absolutely
yeah.
remember.
I
the
would
old
always go in
Cinedomes.
the theater right when I knew it was happening, just so I could see that. That's a great scare.
And I'm going to be honest, I've never watched that movie all the way through.
Oh my god!
I have to see it.
It's a soft jump scare too. It's not like a hardcore. It's a soft jump scare. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's a great one. It's my favorite. That's what I
I
said.
guess I would have to say one of my favorite jump scares was probably from The Grudge.
Ooh.
Where it shows where the girl's poking her head up in the attic
Yeah.
with the lighter,
Oh, fuck,
and you
yeah.
see the thing behind her, and she turns around, and it's, oh shit!
And
Like,
so
that
many
was
other
a-
movies since then.
that was a
I
real
think they
good
did that
one.
in The Conjuring. There's like a scene like that. A lot of other movies since then have done that. That's a great scare.
I loved The Conjuring. The hands that come out of the closet. Oh, I loved that. I was like, God, that's freaking
See,
creepy.
because you're on the lines with me. I love my favorite. I guess subgenre would be ghost stories. I love them.
Love it.
I love it.
If
Yeah.
basically, I want to make it to where I can't walk through my house in the dark.
Yes, pretty much.
That's a good scary movie to me. When I'm sitting there going like, I see my own reflection in the mirror and it makes me shit myself. Like, that's a good scare for me.
Yeah.
Oh look, they're peeling his fingernail off. That just makes me scream.
I don't like that
I
stuff.
just- it just-
I was having this conversation yesterday with someone. We were talking about Saw came up, Hostel came up.
Yeah.
I'd never seen The Human Centipede. I don't need to see it because I already know what it's about. I don't
saw
like
it.
shit like that.
I think
That
I
stuff
saw
makes me
parts of it
super
too.
uncomfortable. I
I'll
can't
never revisit that one. I only saw it so I could get the joke in South Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only reason I watched
That's
it.
a great episode,
Was to
yeah.
get that, and
And
the
once you-
fish. I had to
Yeah,
watch
and once you watched, the South Park's episode of that, you don't need to see the movie anymore.
You don't. And that was another one where it's like, so just like this, it always kind of bugs me when I see things like this, because it's like, they try to give you that little bit of exposition where she's laying on the table and the doctor he's doing something to himself, but he's just throwing out all this obviously written monologue.
Oh,
and
sure.
It's just like, nobody talks like that. And the other thing that really rode me on this one is they keep showing the cult, right? The cult standing outside.
Yeah.
And every time I see it, it reminds me of that scene in Django Unchained where they're bitching about the eye holes in their hood.
Oh yeah.
And it's like it made it so human to have that. And so every time I'm seeing this, I'm expecting some guy in the back going like, "Are we almost done?"
Yep. Or at least see two people looking down at their phone while they're waiting outside.
Are you saying we're just supposed to stand outside this hospital?
Yeah, and then you got to kill everybody that comes outside.
Hey, who brought snacks? I got to go pee. You know, I'm waiting for
Blood
that.
sugar's getting low.
I'm waiting for that. Do we get a break? I'm waiting for that because it's like I'm looking for that human aspect, but it's like...
I feel like the whole cult was a wasted opportunity. There was nothing happening with them.
Exactly.
Like, they're creepy looking, right? Like, but there's nothing going on.
That was what made me watch the movie.
They serve? Yeah.
That's what made me watch the movie. Is like, look, they got this creepy looking cult. They had the Squid Game design on their face. It was like, you got this weird cult. This is going to be really cool. And then it was like, what the fuck was the point of that? Other than, they're just creepy hooded figures.
Just part of the scenery.
And then when they take the girl, the one that's impregnated, after her baby is born, it literally crushes the skulls of all of these cult. I don't even know what they were. Like were they already established and then he kind of ran it, or did he start it and then they just kind of? I don't know either.
That could have been another thing. Are they being martyrs to the cause?
They were just the useful idiots.
Yeah. What exactly?
Yeah, the useful idiots.
It's the. Just when you said that, it just reminded me of Goldmember, where he's like, "Do you know how many nameless henchmen I've killed?" I just love that.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put your gun down.
I don't know, man. I mean, the thing is with this, like, I agree with you guys. There are things that I do like. I probably would recommend it to someone, but I would warn them, like, okay. You know, you're going to go into this thing. There's going to be a lot of crazy shit, and there's going to be a lot of stuff unanswered. If you're okay with that, then I say give it a shot. Like, I mean, there are some good things happening in this film, but there's a lot of flaws.
I would recommend it for the simple fact of this. Just go ahead and watch it so that we can sit down and talk shit about it.
For sure.
Because this movie's wild.
And I think in a way they were successful in that. I know the next thing I hear about that these guys are even, you know, each of these guys are putting out, I'm going to go check it out. I want to see what they did with it, because there are elements of good filmmaking in this movie.
No, it definitely shows they have talent.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Without
a doubt.
Did they learn? Did they grow from this one? And I think we're going to go see it. Like the next time they come out with a movie, I'm going to go see it. So in a way, it was a successful film.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. I mean, this could have been far worse. This absolutely could have been far worse, because I've seen far worse.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
As have I. But so, like the best, I don't know, I'd say allegory I could put to it is, you can throw all these filters on your camera, you bring out all these expensive lights, and you go outside and you take a picture of a pile of shit, and you go, look at this beautiful picture, and this picture is beautiful. But dude, it's still a pile of shit.
A pile of shit.
We're still taking a picture of a pile of shit.
Absolutely.
And that's just kind of how I gathered when I was watching this, because it's like these guys definitely. Like I said, it's real easy to sit there and go, they suck. I don't think that's the case. I think these are very talented filmmakers. They just
And
like
it's
you
hard
said,
for people like us that don't make movies to understand how difficult it is to make
and this
a
is a
movie.
crowdfunded movie.
It is. And I have learned doing this podcast that, because I find myself sometimes wanting to crap on stuff, but I know that I can't do it.
Right.
And it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money, a lot of creativity to do this. So I've tried to be better about, totally shitting on someone. You guys both do music. You know how hard it is. So you could have a guy down the street listen to Lesser Sons or, another damn what do you guys?
Another damn disappointment.
Another damn disappointment, right?
Just call us ADD.
ADD for sure.
I know, but I mean, I know originally, like, the ADD stood for something else, but then you guys changed it, right? Is that sound accurate or no?
They had to change it. This was before I was in the band.
Yeah.
They were just ADD. And they signed to Volcom Records.
Yes.
And Volcom
Yeah.
basically was like, you got to come up with something for that because no one will be able to find you
okay.
on an internet search. Because if you search ADD, it's gonna
That's true. It's all
everybody's
the
gonna
other-
find attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
And so one of our buddies was just like, how about another damn disappointment? And all of us still to this day were like,
Do you think
that's our
why-
name? All right, fuck it. We already put it on paper.
Put it on
Sean. But
That must be why AFI had to change their name or say that it was a fire inside.
Yeah.
I love you, Davey Havoc, but
they
because
started as a
AFI
bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah,
or
it's the
something like-
American.
Yeah.
A bunch of fucking idiots.
a bunch
is
of
what it
fucking
was.
idiots is what I heard.
I used to love
And
that band, and that
AFI
band I felt went down the. I don't know. Maybe that's just
They
my
got
opinion.
glam. I still like them.
Now,
Do
they-
you?
Basically, they showed you what happens when money introduces.
Yeah, that's pretty
itself
much it,
to
yeah.
your writing process.
I don't know.
And,
Yeah.
But I've also heard interviews with Davey Havoc that says that he was never proud of the old screamy days. He
Yeah,
wanted to show that he can sing, and it's like, hey, you
yeah.
know what?
Look,
More
I mean,
power to you, man.
Yeah.
He's sitting in a much nicer house than I am right now.
That's right.
Not
And-
talking
yeah.
shit about my band.
Yes,
so-
exactly. I guess the point, like, I think as this comes full circle, is down my neighbor down the right next door, right, may not like either of your guys' bands. Mm-hmm. That's okay, but there's no denying what goes into making that music because I can't play an instrument. I sure in the hell can't sing. I would love to be able to do both the things, but I can't.
Right.
And how many times when you're making a record do you go, we're out of time. I want to change this. I want to change this a lot. I want to do a
Dude.
different lyric or anything like that. And you're like, no, we're fucking done. This is it.
We've been working on this record for a long time, and I've gone back and listened to it and just been like, shit, I want to change so much, but it's done. And you know, there's very little we can do, you know,
Yeah.
and especially, I mean, if you got the money, yeah, I can call the engineer up right now and be like, I'm coming over there with $800. Let's get to work. But we've already mastered it. We've already finished it. We're
yeah.
just working on, and so it's like, there's no point,
Yeah.
you know, and because to bring that back to full circle here, I used to work at a comedy club as a bartender.
Oh yeah.
And I remember seeing comedians that would come in all the time, regulars that were not funny
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just going like, they're not funny. But I would never be that guy that says, this guy sucks at it, because he's got the balls to get up there and do it.
For sure.
You know, and I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
Whether or not your content is valuable, the fact that you're willing to put it out there for all to see and hear, that takes a lot of guts.
Sure.
It takes
yeah.
a lot of guts.
It does. I respect anyone, any artist, no matter what the medium is, to do something, you know, especially something I can't do.
Right.
You know, because, you know, I couldn't go up in front of someone and make jokes because I'm not funny. You
Right.
know, they're not going to laugh.
And it's not-
Or, you know, Jake, you getting up and in front of people and singing and, you know, you play drums, Carl,
Right.
right? And it's like, dude, I can't do any of those things. And I know I'd probably get anxiety trying to do that. Like I do this, right? I sit here and I do this, but you know, it's just a couple of us guys and we just hit record and we're bullshitting, right?
Right.
I can't get up. Dude, if I had to do this in front of a crowd, I would fucking freak out, man.
Yeah.
So I respect anyone who does anything, whether I like it or not, doesn't matter. The fact that you did it, you know.
I'll tell you honestly though, the live aspect, there's a lot that comes from that, because I mean, how many records have you heard that are like, no, this is all right, but then you see them live and you're
Yeah.
just going, my fucking whole world has changed.
Yeah.
You know, when an audience, because as a performer of any kind, you feed off the audience. You know, it's Monsters Inc., man. Screams make us stronger.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you get that live, because basically what I'm saying to you is, if you ever get the chance, face your fears, brother. Get on a stage, bring a good show. It'll change your whole world. It'll change your whole world, because you'll find out there are so many like-minded people out there. Of course, you're going to have your people that are like, I don't give a shit, you suck.
Yeah.
And
of course.
you can't please
You got the
everybody.
haters, yeah.
And, you know, and that's kind of like what I said with what my epitaph would say, because I'm very used to the fact that on first impression, you're probably not going to like me. And that's just the way it is. You know, I got a big friggin' mouth and a small stick, so I don't really care. I talk shit, and usually people get it, and usually people don't. And, you know, like with Jake here, we've known each other since high school.
Yeah.
And I remember at first glance, it was like, that guy looks like somebody I could be friends with, but I don't know if I like him. And then through mutual friends, we became friends. And then it was like, you're one of my favorite human beings that's ever lived. We don't talk all the time, but Jake understands, you know, you will always be a brother to me regardless. And
thanks, man.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
you too.
Absolutely, brother. You know, and so it's like we're kind of off on a whole different page. Aren't we talking about a movie?
That's okay though. But see, this is what I like doing.
I was in there with you though, bro. I was in there with you.
But you know, I'm sorry. I just looked up and saw the piece of bacon hanging off of his face. And
dude, I
it
know.
Kind of ruins it.
I know. This is the scene, where Allison is. I don't even know what she's impregnated. I don't even know. Man.
This is a bizarre
Looks like she's
movie.
got a really, really bad case of gas and her stomach's moving.
She's eating something that's not agreed with her. I don't know. A favorite scene? You have a favorite?
Honestly, I did write one thing down. There's a line in this movie that I really loved, and it's when they got rolled on the table. And they're checking him out, and they're like, "Oh, he's no stranger to needles." And the cop jumps back. That was the only laugh that I got.
Yeah.
When he's all, "He fucking bled on me." That was the only laugh that I got from this. I really enjoyed that.
What about you, Jake? Any favorite line or scene that jumped out at you?
My favorite scene was the opening scene. Was the scene where the father and son are chasing Roald out the door because it did pique my interest immediately.
Yeah, definitely. There's a scene towards the end where the what's that guy named? The bearded guy, what's his name? The bearded guy that you guys keep saying is in that other television show.
Evan Stern. I don't remember what his name is in the movie.
I forget what his name was.
He's Rolled.
His name's James in this movie.
In this James? Okay, so when he's in the hallway and that thing kind of comes to life and it like kind of starts to contort and it like goes like, and then it somehow gets him, and I don't know if it's made him a part of it, but I liked that. I enjoyed that scene. You know, there were some other cool things, you know, when they go into the room and there's all these experiments and they start to come alive, you know. I've seen that before.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty, it was real Silent Hill kind of feel to it.
More questions.
But yeah, man, I mean,
interesting stuff that we would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is like I said, it's not a terrible, like even that scene is kind of cool. Where whatever this experiment is, and it's
bashing its head against a spike on the wall.
Yeah, and it's got a big hole in the head. And I mean, this is interesting, right? Like, this is kind of cool.
And they could have given us a better explanation for why and how that was happening. It's just like, oh, here's another thing from the list that we got to check off.
Yeah,
we got this scene where we got a fake head, and the guy's going to be, impaling his head on the pipe. So mark that down. Well, what's the context of how this is going to get into the film? Fuck context. Just do it.
Just do it. I think that's
we got all this clay. So we got to do something.
We got to use this.
We got all this clay. No, so I mean, to be honest with you, like Jake was saying, had they actually, make this a 5-episode series,
maybe
give me a point to it, give me a little explanation of what's going on. I'm on board because like I said, visually I loved it. I loved what I'm looking at. With a couple of the monsters are a little cheeseball looking for me, but I was drawn to it
for sure.
I judged the book by its cover, and the cover, like the poster art for this is fantastic.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I wanted to like this film.
I really did too.
Yeah, and I do like it.
This was the 4th Indiana Jones for me. I really wanted to like it, but I just don't even start.
Did any of you guys see the new one yet?
Not yet.
No.
I don't think I'm gonna.
I've heard mixed reviews.
Yeah,
I've heard mixed reviews. It's still hard to wrap my head around an 80-year-old guy swinging.
Right.
Okay, hold on a second.
Swinging.
I got something.
Random.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't use it that often. So I was having this discussion last night. We were driving, my buddy and I, and I'm like, dude, the first 3 Indiana Jones movies were phenomenal. Like,
Love 'em.
you should have ended with The Last Crusade.
Classics.
Sean Connery is fucking a great movie, right? Why the fuck would you make that whatever Crystal Skull? I saw it one time and I was embarrassed to even say that. And I'm not.
I went to the midnight premiere. Like, I've been waiting most of my life for this. This is awesome. And then once the refrigerator flew through the air, I was like, dude.
And wasn't it in the first few minutes, if I remember correctly?
And then they fall off the 3 waterfalls and I'm like, dude.
Fucking Indiana Jones and Aliens just doesn't, it fucking doesn't work.
At the same time, do you remember in Temple of Doom, they fell out of a plane on a damn raft.
We're
and
crashing.
Didn't die, right? But
I could look, I know that's not possible, but I have more forgiveness for that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
What I don't want to see, I won't see this new one. And I've talked to a few people that have seen it. They said it's terrible. He looks like he's 90, man.
Yeah.
Like Indiana Jones is supposed to look like he's in, I don't know, 30s? Hell, give me 40s. I have to believe that he can do these things. He looks ancient as shit. I don't believe that he can do those things. And I don't want to see a 90-year-old Harrison Ford, man. I just don't.
I like the idea of bringing this back, like, honestly, the only way that I can put it is with 3 words: Top Gun Maverick. That's how you make a 30-year sequel.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was so good, but at the same time,
that's a different studio.
It's a different, and it's Tom Cruise
It's Tom Cruise, man.
Different agendas and different motivations.
but it's still no. They're both Paramount.
No, this is Lucasfilm Disney now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that was always one of my favorite things about it, is how they would show the Paramount and then it would turn into the mountain in the world that they're doing.
Yeah.
And then in Crystal Skull, that's where they fucked it up, because in Crystal Skull, it was just a molehill and then a CGI mole comes out of it. And I'm like, this sucks.
Now, dude, it's like if we took Back to the Future, right? The trilogy. And let's say, and obviously be a little hard with Michael J. Fox, and let's try to make a 4th or 5th film. Fuck you. The 3 are it's a phenomenal trilogy. Leave it alone. That's what this should have been.
Yeah.
I have to stop you there. Hit the button, dude.
Oh, hit it again.
Hit the button.
Random
Okay.
rant.
Back to the Future. The first one that you're touching a tender subject for me.
Oh,
the first
okay.
Back to the Future is amazing. Now, the second one, I remember as a kid waiting on bated breath.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for the next one. And what they delivered infuriates me. It's campy. It's goofy. They reuse the same jokes every time. And then you get to Back to the Future 3, which is a far better movie.
It is a better
Now,
movie.
didn't
Far
they
better
film
movie.
2 and 3 at the same
They
time?
did them at the same time.
They did, yeah.
Here's what really irked me, and this is what we were talking about when you're overthinking it. You know. So in Back to the Future 3, I'm led to believe that Marty McFly's great grandfather looks exactly like Marty fucking McFly, and his great paternal grandmother looks exactly like Leah Thompson.
Yeah. True.
Where the fuck did Crispin Glover come from? He doesn't look at all like either of them. And so that was like, okay, I get it. You're taking star power and riding it to the rails. And then, but even in the second one, both of his kids look exactly like him. They don't look
Pretty
anything
much.
like them.
Yeah.
Or
Biff looks like whatever Biff it is. It always looks the same.
And it was always the same joke. There's the manure. We got to bring back the manure. No,
yeah,
you don't. You wrote a great movie the first time. Quit recycling it. And I like it. It bothers me so bad to have a trilogy of like Back to the Future is my apex.
Yeah.
You know, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, those are like some of the best movies ever.
Yeah.
And then you give me these garbage ass sequels, and I'm supposed to be like that guy that's in the room going, yeah, they're great. No, they're not. They're terrible. The first one was fantastic. Why did you have to fuck it up?
See, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I have my issues with 2 and 3, but I I don't know. I look at it through a different lens, and so I'm more. I guess I tolerate it a little more. I like a little more. You know, I guess I'm more tolerance in it for than you do. But I get what you're saying. I can't argue what you're saying.
When that dude, and when the second one, when that dude goes, "You don't have the power," it just I'm out. I'm done.
I hated that they replaced the girlfriend with Elizabeth Shue, and I love Elizabeth Shue. Don't get me wrong.
You know why they did that though?
What happened
Because
with
the
other
original
girl?
actress, what I had read, something happened with her mother, and so she couldn't come back. She had to do something. It's like Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis left the limelight because his wife died and he wanted to take care of his kids. Sure. So it's like,
I get it. Yeah.
I miss you on screen, but dude, you do what you got to do.
Yeah. Oh, for
Good
sure. For
question
sure. Yeah.
for Back to the Future is, did those second two stories need to be told?
No.
Back to the Future was one movie,
Standalone.
self-contained. We didn't need to know, what's next?
No, we didn't.
The only thing that I did like about it was how they had kind of brought up in the third one, the gorge in Hill Valley was named after the
teacher.
Yeah. But then, I mean, like you can jump down that rabbit hole where in the third one at the very end when he comes with the train, the flying train.
Oh yeah.
And it shows the little kids that he's got, and one of the kids is just scratching his balls the whole time.
Yes.
There's some funny stuff with that.
There is some funny shit out there.
It really bugged me. Like in the second one, I really liked how they kind of at the end they kind of go back to 1955.
Yeah,
and they're doing all that kind of stuff, even though they used a guy who looked like Crispin
Glover.
Oh yeah, but wasn't, which actually changed.
Oh yeah,
a lot of laws.
Yeah, because he went.
Hollywood.
Yeah, he sued them. Yeah,
he sued them rotten and won.
Yeah,
and it's so again, like I said, I loved Back to the Future.
Phenomenal,
loved it.
dude.
And it makes me so mad that it's like the Matrix too. Those Matrix sequels were terrible. The first one was like
so good,
really good.
That was a movie reaching out and slapping you in the face. You're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then everything they put out afterwards, it was like, all right, this is you just doing fan favor and stop giving everybody what they want.
Yeah.
Because eventually you're gonna just piss everybody off.
Yeah.
And
the Wachowskis were a one-hit wonder, I think.
I agree. Well, I really liked Speed Racer. I really enjoyed.
I never
Speed
watched
Racer.
it.
It wasn't.
Is V for Vendetta? I heard is supposed to
awful.
be pretty good.
It's good.
I haven't seen it,
But
so
that's another one where it's like, okay, you just have this character talking.
Did they direct that?
Like, yeah,
I think they did. Yeah, that's what I had heard.
Well, never mind. I like that movie.
I like that movie, but again, it's the monologues from V. It's a little hard to swallow. It's like, okay, dude.
Well, I like Hugo Weaving's got a great voice for that.
He's got a great voice for it, but again, it's like nobody fucking talks like that, you know. But
we went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, no,
and I don't mind the rabbit holes. I like the rabbit holes because I feel like there's just because we don't do a script, right? We're just going down shit, and we're just coming up with shit out of our ass.
We went down the rabbit voids.
The rabbit voids. Well, so you would say would you recommend, Carl? Would you recommend it to someone? You would, right?
I honestly, I'd recommend something to anybody because just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not. Yeah. Good.
And Jake,
I think didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. I would say check it out, man. I mean, if you liked The Thing, Prince of Darkness, there's some other shit happening here. I would say give it a shot. It's a little crazy. Shit's gonna go unanswered, but I think it's a decent movie. Decent. I think it's decent. Look, I don't love it.
I have seen worse. Yeah. I will definitely say that,
sure.
But honestly, I will never watch this movie again. I've seen it twice now, and that's more than I wanted to see it.
Same.
I don't know if I'd ever watch it again either. Yeah. Well, that's it, man. Carl, I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, really fast, Another Damn Disappointment or ADD, where can people find you guys?
Oh, shoot. We're Instagram, Facebook. We actually have a website, I believe. I just don't remember what it's called. It used to be called addsucks.com.
That's funny.
But we're on. It's best to look us up by the whole band name. Another damn disappointment.
Give them
We also have a bastardized side project that we're doing. We have a country band called Bear Whiskey.
Oh, nice.
And we do basically punk rock bluegrass. It's a lot of fun. We played a show last night. I'm sore as shit.
Really?
We had a 3 hour set last night.
Is it Bear, B-A-R-E whiskey or Bear whiskey?
Bear as in bear.
Okay. So check that out too, folks.
Yeah.
And then don't forget Jake, Lesser Sons. You guys are working on an album?
Yeah, we're working on an album. it's just going slow.
Going slow. Well,
Check us out, Lesser Sons Band on
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook,
yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks again for you guys for coming on out. I appreciate it. That's it for us. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and everyone take care.
We'll see you guys next time.
You listened all the way to the end. We appreciate that. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Ear for Fear Podcast, Twitter at Ear for Fear, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Ear for Fear Podcast. You can also check out our website, earforfear.com. There we list news and events. We're available on all the main platforms, so make sure you tell a friend. We hope you come back and get an earful.